Hello?
Son, what are you two crazy guys up to?
Dr. Rowe,
Chairman.
We are on, got back on I-81, barreling down, trying to votes on time.
Hey, well, listen, let me give you some advice. You can probably go, I know most of the highway patrolmen and along that corridor. When you get to Virginia, don't do more than 3 or 4 miles over the speed limit. They're terrible in Virginia.
It's the best advice we've got today.
Tennessee.
Well, thank you, Dr. Rowe. You're on with us. We have you on speaker with our live stream. We passed through your hometown, I think, earlier this morning, and there's been a lot of questions about veterans, VA care. Beto O'Rourke's doing a great job of explaining what y'all are doing on the committee, and I think we have some votes coming up this week dealing with VA. We'd love for you to explain that to the folks listening.
Absolutely. Well, listen, first of all, you guys be careful. I know it's a long drive. You've been on the road a long time, and you still got, I'm not sure where you are in the district, but it's about 6.5 hours, 420 miles from my house, so you guys have got a long way to go, and seriously, do be careful.
We will.
We're going down to the Rules Committee today. There are actually 3 VA bills that are going to be up this week. One is a Second Amendment bill when veterans need a fiduciary. They're the only cohort of our citizens that undergo this. If they need a fiduciary, someone to help them fill out their financial things, and there are even kids on this, you lose your Second Amendment right to own the firearm. You give that right up. And what we want to do is we'll say, fine, if someone is mentally incapable, that evidence should be presented to a court, to a judge, and let a judge make that decision, not a person at the VA, not a selective service person at the VA, a GS employee. So that's one bill we're going to talk about. Another one, I just had breakfast this morning, and Beto, thank you. He does a fantastic job on the Veterans Affairs Committee. I want to give a shout out
Thanks,
to
Chairman.
Mr. O'Rourke. He is a fantastic member of the committee. And brings and has a true passion for helping veterans. And I know he's improved in El Paso, Texas, certainly in mental health and others issues, the care of veterans in El Paso. Beto, thank you so much for what you've done.
Thank you, Chairman.
We had breakfast this morning with the secretary, and believe it or not, Beto, Tim Walsh couldn't get out of Minnesota either.
Oh, no.
You couldn't escape Texas. You couldn't escape Minnesota today.
Oh, no.
We're going to have an accountability bill. The secretary, the first thing out of his mouth for breakfast this morning was that he needs this accountability bill to be able to timely terminate less than stellar employees at the VA. As we've talked about in our committee time and time again, a vast majority of our workers at the VA do a fantastic job for our veterans and have them at heart. But there are some exceptions, and the process now can extend to over a year to actually terminate someone who's even done a criminal act. So this just gives the secretary some tools. It also gives him some to increase it to speed up this process, but to also maintain due process rights for the person who's been accused, as protections for whistleblowers who step up and actually help us with our investigations. And also, it allows the secretary to hire people more expeditiously to fill these slots. Many of our VA medical centers and division directors, our area directors, are empty, and so it allows Dr. Shulkin the ability to do this. So in a nutshell, and then Dr. Winstrup has a bill for Friday, which will make it easier for the VA to hire people. It's a very long, protracted process, and he's got a really good bill out there that's got bipartisan support and will pass easily Friday, I think.
Yeah, Dr. Rowe, look, we got a lot of VA stuff going. Beto and I were at Audie Murphy in San Antonio on, what day was that, Monday. We were talking with the Vet Center and some of the veteran service organizations in the community, and Audie Murphy was talking about how they have many positions to fill, but they lose out because it takes them 3 or 4 months to do something where it takes the private sector a month. And so that's great that we have Dr. Winstrup's bill coming to the floor.
Yeah, and I'll say this, Dr. Rowe. We were singing the praises of Chairman Mac Thornberry from Texas last night, talking about the House Armed Services Committee. I'll tell everyone that I'm also very lucky to serve on your committee, because you're, like Mac, a chairman of a committee who doesn't see this on by ideological grounds or party perspective. You really want to do what's best for the veteran. And I'll share with Will, folks are looking for some bipartisan agreement, want us not to be entrenched and dug in and be listening to each other. I came to the hearing that Chairman Rowe held on this Second Amendment issue ready to vote against this idea to change how we treat veterans who have a fiduciary who, under the current rule, functionally are not allowed to have a gun. And part of my concern is that 20 veterans a day, every day in this country at a minimum, are taking their own lives, and somewhere over 60% of those suicide deaths are by firearm. And so my thought is, if you have a veteran who is in a position where they may do themselves harm, I don't want them to have access to a firearm. But Dr. Rowe made a really good point. If we're really trying to get at suicide reduction and prevention, then we can't do anything that stigmatizes veterans coming in, or active duty service members coming in to get help for post-traumatic stress disorder or behavioral health issues or mental health issues. So he gave the example of one of his constituents is a veteran, is somebody who likes to hunt, and hunting is therapeutic for him. And if he were to come into the VA and be tagged in this way and no longer be able to have his firearm, his shotgun, his hunting rifle, we're providing a disincentive for that veteran to come in and get help. So I'm actually going to be in support of the chairman's bill because he persuaded me. So folks who think we don't listen and we don't talk with each other, we do. And the VA committee is one of those places that it happens. And I'm still learning about the accountability bill. I have some concerns, but I like the goals that the chairman's given of speeding up hiring and ensuring that folks who are not performing and not delivering quality care to veterans who've had every opportunity to be trained, have necessary resources and supervision, if they're not getting the job done, they need to get out of the way, and we need to prioritize the veteran first. So really appreciate the chairman's work and the ranking member, Tim Walz, and my colleagues on both sides. We may not all agree on these bills, but I think we've all given them some thought and want to get to the right place.
I couldn't agree more, Bill, and I know you all are probably seat weary by now.
We are, and Chairman, I know you got to get to a meeting. We want to do a quick 3-question lightning round with you. That means you only get 30 seconds to answer each question. Female veterans. Second question is what else are you working on outside of VA issues? And 3, if you had to travel halfway around the country with a Democrat, who would it be?
Oh wow, fantastic. Well, I'm gonna number one, female veterans. As you guys know, I spent 31 years practicing OBGYN, and so basically, female health care, women's health care was what I did for a living for over 3 decades. We need to improve that in our veterans. There's no question that it's better, but it needs to improve dramatically. I'm going to be shameless. I would like to, and the third question I'm going to go to is I wouldn't mind riding around with you two guys. It's going to be a lot of fun to ride around with. But I have a lot of good Democratic friends, and our ranking member, Tim Walz, a great friend. Earl Blumenauer from Oregon is a great friend. Cindy Hoyer's a good friend. So those are all people I would ride anywhere with. Just quickly off the top of my head, what else I'm working on, obviously, is I'm on the education committee, so the Perkins, which will affect you guys.
That's right.
Coming up, and also the Affordable Care Act. So that's as quick as I could go, guys.
Hey, awesome. Thank you so much, Chairman. And if you go with Earl, you have to ride a bike rather than take a car.
That'd be fine to
Get a
see.
tandem.
But thank you, Chairman Rowe. Appreciate you. Look forward to seeing you at 6:30 when we get to votes.
Safe travel. See you guys.
Take
Thank
care,
you,
buddy.
Bye.
Bye.
So.